What's up, everybody? My name is Francesco. I'm a certified coach, and today we're going to talk all about food before an early morning, a workout, which could be a run, a bike, a swim, a lifting session, or anything else where you're exerting yourself, right? And now, so the two biggest factors to keep in mind when figuring out what to eat, or more importantly, how much of that you should eat, is one, the intensity of your workout, and two, the time or duration of your workout, right? Are you going out for a 30-minute easy run or a 2-hour easy run or bike, whatever it is? Or, is it a 30-minute super intense, like you're, vomiting in a trash can kind of intensity, right? Or, is it more moderate? So those are the two different factors. We'll talk about it, and then we'll go over some examples of what to eat. Now, I was in my kitchen. I was actually going to film this video in my kitchen, right? I'll be like, oh, you can eat a banana. I was going to hold up a banana, but like, y'all, everyone knows what a banana looks like, right? So we're not going to do that. Everyone can imagine what a banana looks like. I don't need to demonstrate it in my kitchen. And so instead, you'll just, let's just have a little chat for a few minutes about this whole concept. Now, so let's define the two factors, right? Intensity and time duration. Generally speaking, if your workout is more intense, you're going to want more of a fuel bolster, but further away from the workout because you don't want all that food sitting in your stomach while you're working out, right? Now, that's easy to say if you have a 2 p.m. workout, right? Then you could just eat like a meal at noon or at 11. But it's hard to do, say, like, you got to be, in front of your computer for work at 9. And so you're going to do your workout at whatever it is, like say 7:30, right? And you're going to wake up at, I don't know, 6:30, just totally arbitrary numbers. Basically, when the ideal concept of eating 2 to 3 hours before your workout, when that's not feasible, right? What do you do? And so, all right, we'll give some examples. All right. If you have an intense workout that is short, so like less than an hour, what I would do, and we'll talk about this whole concept of like experimentation later, but nothing is one size fits all. But so what I would do for an intense workout that's less than an hour is I would make sure to eat solid food, right? I don't want to go into that in a fasted state, even though like some people like to do that, but that's a whole other concept. And there is a purpose for fasted workouts, right? Within a training program. We're not talking about that, right? We're talking just generalizations. I want to go into it with some food in my stomach. Some food includes maybe some fruit, some oats, some overnight oats, something fast that I can grab. Not a lot of fat, right? The thing with fat, like fat is great, right? The whole concept of like fat makes you fat. We all know that's not true, right? Like fat is very essential for your hormones and all that other stuff. But you don't want fat right before a workout because it takes a really long time to digest and it just sits in your stomach, right? Which is why you might not want to, do spoonfuls of peanut butter right before a super intense workout, right? Now, we'll get to the easy workouts in a minute because it's a little different for that. But for the intense workouts, I would stick with easy to digest carbohydrates, maybe a little bit of protein. Some people, me included, feel like if we don't have any protein in our stomachs before working out, we kind of feel a little empty, like our muscle bellies feel a little flat, which makes no scientific sense, but it's just a feeling, right? Now, just because it makes no scientific sense, does that mean, okay, now just throw it out the window, the anecdote? Maybe not, right? Just, half of this is just listening to your bodies, right? Like I can tell you, like, do a perfect like a perfect ratio of fat, proteins to carbohydrates in this number of minutes before, but like ultimately I'll give you a starting point and then just experiment and see what feels good. So to circling back around, intense workout, less than an hour, say like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Try to have some very easy to digest food, like a little bit of oatmeal or some, banana and piece of fruit, whatever it is. And I would have that 30 minutes, definitely 30 minutes or further or longer away from your workout start. So maybe even like 45 minutes before you start. Generally speaking, let's say if I'm doing an indoor bike ride, right? And I'm doing a hard bike ride for an hour, I'll wake up and I'll wake up an hour before I ride and I'll have a cup of coffee and I'll have like a small bowl of oatmeal or a banana or, a combination or like half an apple or something. And so by the time I'm done eating that, it's about, say, like 40 minutes before I get on the bike. And so by the time I'm on the bike, like the food's still in my stomach, but it's digested enough that I'm able to do the ride for the most part. And so, and again, ideally, right, you would have a little bit more food, but a lot further away from the workout. We're talking, an hour and a half, 2 hours. But this is for early morning workouts, right? Now, if you have an easy workout, you got to split this into two categories. You either have an easy short workout, which is anything less than 45 minutes or an hour, and then you have easy long workouts, right? Maybe you have a long run, you're training for a marathon or a long ride, right? These are runs and stuff that'll take like 90 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. If you're doing an easy short workout, I would say that this is a type of workout where nutrition matters the least. Now, this does not mean you can completely throw it out the window. It just means that, okay, if you don't have your carbohydrates and perfectly ratioed macros right before you work out, it's not going to kill you, right? You can go out for an easy 30-minute jog in the park. If you're an athlete, like you have good training volume and stuff, you can go out for like a chill run where you're not really breathing hard, right? It's more just like it's getting the volume in and stuff like that. You can do that probably honestly on an empty stomach, right? Now, with all of this, it's important to drink water, right? Always hydrate, drink water before. You don't have to like chug a gallon, but just drink some water. But as long as you do that, you don't even need food. Now, just because you don't need it doesn't mean you shouldn't have it, right? So I would follow a similar protocol with the easy short workouts as well, where you have just a little bit of food, 30 minutes, 45 minutes before you run. But this, because you're going at a more easy pace, it's okay to have it. I wouldn't say it's advised, but you can get away with having it closer to your run, right? Like and it's definitely not a recommendation, but like I've definitely like grabbed a banana as I start running, right? And it's doable because you're not going at super intense paces, so you're not throwing up your food the moment you hit the pavement, right? And now, so the third type of run or a third type of workout, let's say, is a long, easy workout, right? Long as in more than an hour, 2-3 hours, whatever it is, and it's easy, right? You might think because it's easy, oh, you don't really need to worry about nutrition. But because you're going for so long, it's important to give your body what it needs to keep going for that long. So I would do the same thing, right? Just have food. And it's all, we're breaking it up. Basically, we can boil this whole video down to, okay, have a little bit of food, easy to digest carbs, a little bit of protein, maybe no fats, or, very little fats before any of these workouts, right? And if you just do that for all the workouts, you'll be fine. But that's basically the idea. And don't forget, and we can do a whole other video on this, but don't forget with the long workouts, 2-3 hours, it's important to fuel during the workout as well, right? You have the pre-workout nutrition covered. We'll do another video on post-workout nutrition, basically what you eat after the workout. But then you also need the intra-workout nutrition, which is basically what you eat during the workout itself, right? And so while it could be like a gel pack, a waffle, it could be a peanut butter jelly sandwich if you're on the bike, right? And this difference is, for example, when I'm on the bike, I can stomach a little bit more like solid foods versus if I'm running, I don't really want to be eating a ton of solid foods. And so let's circle back around. So that counts for running and biking. With swimming and lifting, right? Those are slightly different. So now with swimming, because you're horizontal, I find that you all these, like what you would normally do for running and biking, I would do it a little less because you're horizontal, right? Your digestion isn't as much. I think it's more important to have the food more digested when you're swimming versus when you're running, and definitely when you're biking, right? When you're biking, you could be like chomping on a burrito as you're biking, right? And as long as it's like a chill, easy bike ride, you could do it. I'm half joking, but also half kind of serious. Swimming, I would definitely err on the side of less food is better, especially if you're not really used to eating like before your workouts. If you're just experimenting, start with less and then work your way up and see what works for you. In terms of lifting, if you're doing slow, heavy, like strength compound movements, right? You're not like doing jump squats and stuff. You're doing a normal strength routine, right? Squats, deadlifts, overhead. You're taking time. You lift. Like your vomit factor is probably pretty low, right? So then, similar thing would apply where I would have a little bit of food, 30 to 45 minutes before, a little carbs, some protein. The only difference with lifting is that I would feel a little better about including a little bit more fat and protein in the food if you want to, right? Like if you're trying to get a protein goal and it's hard for you to fit all your protein in at the end of the day, and it's just easier for you to get it in the morning, and same goes with your fats, I'd feel a little bit better about eating that with your meal before you lift than I would eating it before a run or a swim or something like that. So yeah, that's the intro on pre-workout nutrition, especially when it's early in the morning, right? Because you're never going to get ideal nutrition when your first workout is, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., even 7 or 8 a.m. for people who are not used to working up super early. Like, you're not waking up 3 hours before your first workout. If your first workout 6 a.m., you're waking up 3 a.m. just to eat like a meal, right? That's not happening, because even if you were motivated enough to do that, you need to sleep, right? The sleep really matters. And again, more videos about that is on the way. But those are the basics on pre-workout nutrition at an early morning stage. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, my name has been Francesco, and see y'all on the next one.